Hi everybody, I'm Hub Arkush for ChicagoSunTimes.com, and it is fantasy football season again. You're probably getting ready for your draft any moment now, so we've got a few things for you to keep an eye on as we go over the important position groupings. We'll start in this video with the quarterbacks and the running backs. And at quarterback, everybody knows at the top of the list you've got Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, and Peyton Manning, not necessarily in that order, but you're safe to have them top three again. Most folks I know believe Aaron Rodgers has got to come off first. Hard to believe that Peyton Manning can match last year's numbers, so maybe Brees second, maybe Manning third. But again, those numbers Manning put up last year, just incredible. Now, the next group may surprise you a little bit. Nick Foles of the Philadelphia Eagles last year, 27 touchdowns, just 2 interceptions, and Chip Kelly is going to turn him loose for 16 games this year. He appears to be the real deal. Like him a lot, as maybe the 4th, 5th, or 6th best quarterback in fantasy football. Also, Jay Cutler, a breakout season is coming, folks. If he stays healthy, Mark Trestman is going to give him a chance to roll up big numbers. He's got Jeffrey. He's got, of course, Brandon Marshall. He's got Matt Forte and Martellus Bennett. All the weapons are there. We're expecting him to be the breakout player at the quarterback position this year. And then the one other guy you might want to add to that group is Matt Stafford. He's got Jim Caldwell brought in to be the new head coach of the Detroit Lions, but specifically to work with him and bring out the best. And, of course, he had a couple of huge fantasy seasons a couple of years ago. Now, a couple guys that we think you may want to stay away from at quarterback, the running quarterbacks, Cam Newton, RG3, Colin Kaepernick. NFL head coaches don't like these guys carrying the football. They're trying to pull in the reins. None of these guys complete passers yet. You've liked them in fantasy because of the rushing yardage and touchdowns that they give you. You can't count on getting them again this year. At running back, again, the top 4 or 5, it's pretty easy. You're going to start with Jamal Charles. You're going to go with LaShawn Shady McCoy. Of course, you're going to have Matt Forte, Marshawn Lynch, Adrian Peterson, and Eddie Lacy belongs in that group. Those are your top 6, not necessarily in that order. If you ask me for my personal taste, I think Eddie Lacy is going to have a breakout season this year, but it's hard to stay away from Jamal Charles with that first overall pick. Now, a couple other guys you want to watch that I'm hearing a lot of buzz around. Giovanni Bernard of the Cincinnati Bengals, C.J. Spiller of the Buffalo Bills. If he can stay healthy, we know he's capable of putting up huge numbers. And then there's DeMarco Murray in Dallas, who's going to get a chance to be practically the entire offense down there. So those are 3 guys that you might not have had in your top 10 running backs. We think you ought to consider putting them there. Take a look at their numbers last year. When healthy, these guys can be fantasy difference makers. And then a couple guys you want to be careful of. Zach Stacy had kind of an interesting year as a rookie last year. People expect him to take the next step this year. With the injury in St. Louis to Sam Bradford, that offense could slow down. I would be very careful there. And then there's Doug Martin. He was everybody's top pick last year, or at least one of the top 5. He had the injury. He lost half the season. Yes, he should be healthy, but the offensive line in Tampa Bay is a disaster right now. Don't be so sure that Doug Martin bounces back immediately for your fantasy team. For the ChicagoSunTimes.com, I'm Hub Arkush. For the best in sports, you want to stay here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.